First, I want to thank you for inviting me to come and speak in front of your group today. I'm very honored and have much gratitude for being here. I have been asked to give some ideas of how to go about speaking in public. As many of us know, that's the second most fearful thing for most people, right behind dying. And since it's the second thing, I think it's okay. You're not going to die from giving a speech. I have not seen anybody do it yet. But for a couple of suggestions for how to overcome your fear of public speaking. First, for jittery nerves. Most of us get nervous when we speak in public, and I still do. I still get quite nervous. And in a way, that's very helpful when you're speaking in public to be a little bit nervous, because it keeps you on your toes. But as you're starting out, you're starting to be a public speaker, I would have a couple of suggestions. Number one, keep it short. You don't have to get up here and speak for an hour or two. Remember the Gettysburg Address, Abraham Lincoln? Speech was less than 3 minutes. He was the second speaker that day. The first speaker spoke for about 2 hours. Nobody remembers his name. Okay. So you don't have to speak for hours at a time to be very memorable in your speaking. When you're starting out, keep it short, keep it familiar to you. Use a subject that's familiar to you. Could be, for example, your grandkids. It could be a hobby that you have. It could be your job or something funny that happened to you in your life. Keep it familiar to you. Don't try and speak out of your comfort zone when you're first starting, because then you kind of get yourself even more nervous, more jittery. So try and keep it within your comfort zone. Myself, I cannot give a speech without putting some type of humor in it. Usually not intentional. It just comes out. I try and keep it in, but it comes out. I can talk about nuclear physics. First off, I shouldn't be talking about nuclear physics. I know nothing about it. But something will blurt out that's inappropriate, but that's just me. So keep it familiar, keep it short when you're first starting, kind of ease your way into it. And be yourself. Just show you. Don't try and be somebody else. Don't try and be a stand-up comic. Don't try and be a great orator. Don't try and be one of the great orators in the past, because for one thing, we're not them, they're not us. They've had years and years, and they're in the history books. So just be yourself. Let people know you. And as you become more and more comfortable with public speaking, branch out a little bit. Try something new. But just don't jump in there both feet ahead, because you want to be in your comfort zone. You want to have everybody not be uncomfortable watching you speak. That can be kind of difficult. And then celebrate the tiny steps. Tiny step number one. Usually when you start public speaking, you're attached to this podium or dais or whatever you want to call it. It's a big bone of contention in my club of what to call it. The front of the room, we'll call it, okay? You'll hold on to this thing, and you'll be afraid to move from it. The one in the other place I speak is very high, so I'm about here, and it's really nice. It's really simple to hold on to it. Okay, first speech, you might be holding on. Second speech, you might be holding out a little bit less. By the fourth speech, you might be out in front of the room. Celebrate those tiny steps. Pat yourself on the back, say, hey, you know what? I'm not behind the dais anymore, the podium, whatever you want to call it. I'm not behind there anymore. I'm out in front. I'm with the people. That is a tiny step that you can celebrate. The first time you stand behind that dais and you might be evaluated, they might say, I stood behind the podium. Well, they probably don't remember the first speech they gave when they stood behind the podium too. But tiny steps, celebrate those. Now, as a group, be supportive of each other. Always be there for each other. Evaluate each other, help each other out, give suggestions, but don't be critical. None of us are, again, perfect at this. We all are learning every day. And just be supportive of each other. Be there for each other. Another way to go about learning or jumping into the pool, one thing we do at Toastmasters, which you may have heard of, you may not have heard of, is called table topics. Table topics are short 1 to 2 minute extemporaneous speaking opportunities. The topics are wide and varied. The one that I'm waiting for is, if you came back as a fruit or vegetable, what would it be? I got that in my head. I got the perfect speech. I'm just waiting for it to be asked and for my name to be called. It's great. I'm waiting for it. But it could be things like, if you were from another country, what do you think of the US? Or what's your favorite hobby? Something simple like that. What's your favorite holiday and why? By the way, I've got to go back to the fruit and vegetable thing. I want to be a banana. You know, I sleek and long, a little bit of curve, and I finally look good in yellow. I look kind of hard on the outside, mushy and sweet on the inside, but I digress. But it's banana, in case you're wondering. So, in conclusion, I want to tell this group that enjoy the trip, enjoy your successes, celebrate your victories, but most of all, never ever stop. Don't give up. You'll enjoy it. And most importantly, if you ever would like some suggestions, some help, some push along the way, please let us know at Toastmasters. We would love to come and help you. We have all kinds of helpful hints and people that are there to support you along the way. Thank you very much and have a great day, Mr. Toastmaster.